My name is Amina, and I am 32 years old. I was born into a devout Muslim family where tradition and obedience shaped every corner of my life. From as far back as I can remember, I carried a weight no child should bear: the unspoken expectation to be perfect, silent, compliant, the obedient daughter who never questions, never falters. I did what was required, smiling behind my hijab, bowing in prayer, nodding when instructed, but inside, I was a storm of questions, doubts, and a longing for something I could not name. My childhood was a delicate balance between love and fear. My father was proud, distant, and demanding. A man of faith whose approval was scarce and whose disapproval was sharp. My mother tried to soften the edges, but her gentle reprimands carried the weight of tradition, echoing in my mind long after she left the room. My brother, always watching, enforcing my father's rules, reminded me daily of my place: silent, unseen, obedient. And yet, even with all the vigilance, there were moments in my room, late at night, when I dared to whisper my questions into the darkness. I asked the God I could not name why my prayers felt empty, why my spirit ached, why I could not find peace in the rituals meant to guide me. I asked these things quietly because speaking them aloud could bring shame, punishment, or worse. And so, I buried my questions, my dreams, my hunger for truth. I learned early to hide who I really was, to mask the ache inside me, to survive behind a mask of compliance. Yet the longing never left. It lingered behind every ritual, every prayer recited out of duty, every smile I forced in public. I remember staring at the moon through the curtains, imagining a life where I could breathe freely, where my soul could speak, where my heart would not tremble in fear of dishonor. I thought I would live this way forever, quietly, silently, until one night everything shattered. I cannot describe the feeling, the sudden rupture in my world, the moment when I realized that all the rules, all the obedience, all the faith I had held onto were not enough to protect me from the pain life was about to bring. That night, the ground beneath me shifted. Everything I believed, everything I had accepted as truth, felt like a fragile illusion. Before I tell you what happened, I want you to know something. If you feel lost, silenced, or trapped in a life that feels like it is not yours, you are not alone. Stories like mine exist, and voices like mine are meant to be heard. And if you want to help more people hear testimonies like this, I invite you to subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment your thoughts, and share it with someone who may need hope. Even in darkness, connection and understanding are possible. And now, the night everything broke. I never imagined that my carefully constructed world could fall apart in a single evening. It began with a letter my mother handed me quietly, her eyes full of unease. A marriage had been arranged for me, not with someone I knew or loved, but with a man chosen for family honor, tradition, and appearances. I felt the walls of my room closing in, the air thick with suffocation. I sank to the floor, clutching the letter, my hands shaking. All my life I had obeyed without question, reciting prayers, following rules, wearing my hijab as armor, and bowing to every expectation. But now, every lesson, every verse I had memorized, every act of devotion felt like chains binding me to a life I did not choose. I remembered the Quranic lessons drilled into me as a child: obedience, honor, submission, fear of shame. I had memorized the verses, repeated the prayers, believed I was safe if I obeyed. But now, I realized that faith had offered no comfort, no protection, only rules, fear, and judgment. My chest tightened with despair. Tears ran down my face, and I whispered prayers unlike any I had ever dared. I did not call on Allah, though I had been taught to. I called on the God who sees the soul, the one who might understand the confusion, the sorrow, the longing buried deep inside me. "Please," I whispered into the darkness. "If you are there, help me. I cannot survive this alone." My brother's voice cut through my despair. "Amina, obey. You know your place. Do not bring shame to this family." Fear coiled around me, but beneath it, a spark of defiance ignited. I wanted to fight, to scream, to run, but the walls of tradition and expectation held me captive. Hours blurred into frantic calls and urgent demands. My parents' voices, my brother's threats, the looming wedding arrangements all pressed down on me like a weight I could not lift. And then it happened. The accident. I remember the sudden force, the blinding light, the sensation of my body giving way, my mind lifting from my chest as if untethered. In those moments, I was neither here nor there, suspended between life and death. I could hear the sound of my own heart faltering, feel the emptiness that comes with nothingness. And yet, in that terrifying silence, I sensed something deeper, something waiting. I realized how fragile life is, how powerless I had been, and how desperately I had sought truth and love beyond the rules that had bound me. And then, amidst the darkness, I began to hear whispers, faint cries, a chorus of sorrow that seemed to rise from nowhere and everywhere at once. Shadows twisted and moved, figures of people, faces twisted in despair, reaching for something they could not grasp. I felt their anguish, their hopelessness, and a fear unlike any I had known. Yet beneath the terror, a strange curiosity rose. What was waiting for me beyond this? Was there a presence, a hand, a light that could pull me back or lead me onward? And in that terrifying uncertainty, I realized my journey had begun. I felt my body dissolve, as if I were nothing but mist, drifting through an endless void. The darkness around me was thick, suffocating, filled with cries that pierced my soul. They were not whispers or echoes, they were screams of despair, anguish, and torment that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Faces appeared in the shadows, some veiled, some bearded, all twisted in pain, reaching out with hands that could not touch, mouths moving in silent wails. And then I heard it, a name repeated over and over, a name that had been the center of my faith, now echoing through the darkness in agony. I felt my chest tighten, my breath catching in terror, and I collapsed inwardly, clutching at my heart, screaming, "If this is the one I trusted, the one I believed in, what hope is left for me?" The darkness pressed in on every side. Yet beneath it, I felt the weight of every fear, every secret, every doubt I had ever buried pressing into my spirit. Memories flashed before me. My childhood behind the hijab, the nights spent silently praying, the whispers of questions I dared not speak aloud, the ache in my soul no one saw. I floated through visions of my life, each memory a thread in a tapestry of obedience, fear, and hidden longing. And then, from the shadows, shapes began to writhe and shift, leading me toward a void so deep I feared I might fall forever. The cries intensified, echoing with despair, until I felt I might shatter under their weight. And then, in that infinite darkness, I sensed a presence, a light, soft yet insistent, cutting through the gloom like warmth through ice. I wanted to resist, to hide, to pull away, but something in me recognized it. It called my name again, softly, tenderly, yet with authority. "Amina," it said, and my soul leapt. I felt a wave of longing surge through me. Every part of me that had been hidden, every fear, every sorrow, every secret longing was seen and held in that single voice. I reached, though I had no body, only spirit, and the light drew nearer, radiating peace I had never known. The shadows wailed one last time, their torment echoing through my mind, and then they began to recede, swallowed by the darkness. My heart pounded, a mix of fear and awe, and I realized that something beyond understanding was waiting for me. The presence was closer now, enveloping me, filling every corner of my being with warmth, love, and authority. I had never felt seen, held, or understood like this. Yet I also knew I was not safe to linger in the darkness forever. The light beckoned, and though terror clutched at my spirit, I felt an irresistible pull toward it. I whispered, barely audibly, "Who are you? What is this?" And though no words came back, my soul understood. I was being called, led, chosen. And in that instant, I realized my journey had only just begun, that life and death were not what I had been told, and that everything I had known about faith, fear, and truth was about to be rewritten. The darkness receded, not all at once, but slowly, like fog lifting from a frozen field. And in its place appeared a light so bright, so pure, it did not hurt my eyes, it healed them. From within that brilliance, a figure emerged, clothed in white, that seemed to glow from within, radiating warmth and authority. I felt my soul tremble, and I could not look away. The presence was overwhelming, yet gentle, powerful, yet tender. Then I heard my name. "Amina," the voice said, and it resonated deep inside me, reaching places I had long since abandoned. It was not just a sound, it was recognition, understanding, and love wrapped into one. I wanted to run, to hide, to question, but every instinct told me to stay. Every fear I had carried dissolved in the presence of this voice. My mind was flooded with memories of suffering, obedience, silence, fear, and hidden longing. But now, for the first time, I saw them differently. I saw them through eyes of love, eyes that understood why I had been bound by fear, why I had been silenced, why I had endured pain in quiet desperation. Tears streamed down my face and I whispered, "Please let me stay. Let me remain here, away from the walls, the rules, the judgment." And the presence responded, not with rebuke, but with truth. "You were never unseen. I came for you," it said. "I have always been with you, even when you did not know it." I felt a warmth surge through me, a lightness I had never known, and I realized that the weight I had carried all my life, fear, shame, doubt, was beginning to lift. I saw flashes of my life as though through someone else's eyes, the burdens of obedience, the loneliness behind the hijab, the quiet hunger for truth, and I understood that none of it had been wasted. Every tear, every prayer, every secret longing had led me here, to this encounter. I wanted to hold on to it, to understand it fully, to never leave. "Your story will set others free," the voice said, and I felt a sense of purpose ripple through me. More powerful than fear, more certain than life itself. I could not speak, yet I understood. I was being called to return, to carry this light back to the world I had known, a world of rules, tradition, and fear. And though terror flickered in the corners of my soul at the thought of returning, I felt courage growing within me. I was no longer alone. I had been seen, known, loved. I wanted to stay in that brilliance forever, but the presence pulled gently, guiding me toward the threshold of life once more. My last thought before my senses returned was a single trembling prayer. Let me not forget this. Let me carry this truth. And then I awoke, gasping, my eyes opening to the harsh light of a hospital room. The air smelled of antiseptic, the machines beeped rhythmically, and I saw faces around me, faces I had known. Faces filled not with joy or relief, but anger, suspicion, and accusation. My mother's eyes were wide with fear, my father's jaw tight, my brother's glare sharp and unforgiving. I tried to tell them, tried to explain what I had seen, what I had felt, but the words caught in my throat. Their judgment pressed down, heavy, suffocating. And yet, even in that moment, I felt the presence of the light with me, a quiet, unwavering reassurance. I was alive. I had been given a choice, and my journey was only beginning. Waking, and in the hospital, the harsh fluorescent lights burned against my still dazed eyes. My body trembled from shock, but it was nothing compared to the storm that erupted around me. My mother's face was pale, a mixture of fear and desperation. "Amina," she whispered, her voice quivering, "what have you done? Was it the devil who came to you?" My father stood rigid, his eyes sharp with judgment, his hands clenched into fists. My brother's glare felt like daggers. I could feel the weight of the community's expectations pressing through him. The Imam arrived soon after, his robes flowing, voice commanding. "Recite the Shahada again, Amina. Return to the path you were given," he demanded. And I felt a cold chill as the weight of their combined authority bore down on me. Every instinct told me to obey, to submit, to protect myself from dishonor and wrath. But inside, something had shifted. I had glimpsed a light that could not be extinguished, felt a love that saw me fully, understood me completely. Their words, their anger, their pressure clawed at me, tried to drag me back into fear, into submission. My mother pleaded, "Child, repent. Confess your mistake. Beg forgiveness. Do not bring shame to our family." Her tears fell like rain, and I felt my heart ache. My brother's threat was sharper, colder. "If you continue this, there will be consequences. You know what happens to those who dishonor the family," he said. And I could feel the unspoken promise of exile, isolation, even violence. The Imam's words carried weight beyond understanding, rooted in faith, tradition, and the fear of judgment. "This vision, it is a deception. It is not from God," he said firmly. "You must not listen to lies." I shivered, every part of me screaming to submit, to survive, to disappear. And then, in a quiet moment, I felt something strange. My phone vibrated against the bedside table. I looked down and saw an app I had never downloaded, an icon for a Bible glowing softly on the screen. My fingers trembled as I touched it, opened it, and found passages that seemed to speak directly to my heart. I read the words slowly, feeling tears sting my eyes. "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me." Each line filled me with a warmth I had never known, a courage that began to grow despite the fear pressing in from all sides. My relatives' voices continued around me, scolding, commanding, threatening, but I felt a spark of something new inside. Even here, under their watch, under their anger and suspicion, I realized that the path before me had changed forever. I had glimpsed a truth they could not see, a light that could not be extinguished. My fingers hovered over the app, hesitant but yearning. And I knew, even in this moment of danger and scrutiny, that I could take the first step towards something real, something that was mine, something that would not be taken from me. I was not safe yet, I was not free yet, but I had a guide now, a presence, a hope that no threat could erase. And as the hospital room filled with the tension of their judgment, I realized I had discovered something that might just save my soul. Night fell, and with it came a quiet that I both feared and longed for. Alone in my room, I unlocked my phone and opened the Bible app that had mysteriously appeared. The screen glowed softly in the dark, illuminating my tear-streaked face. I had never read these words before, never allowed myself to explore anything outside the faith I had been raised in. But now, every line felt like a lifeline. I began with the Gospels, reading slowly, savoring each sentence, letting it seep into the corners of my heart that had been hardened by fear and obedience. I wept openly, though the sound of my own sobs startled me. Jesus was no distant figure of rules. He spoke of love, of mercy, of seeing the unseen and knowing the broken. Each verse felt like a secret invitation, a whisper of freedom meant only for me. I remembered nights spent under my hijab, questioning silently, hiding my thoughts from everyone, feeling shame for even daring to ask. Flashbacks came unbidden. My mother's sighs when I hesitated, my father's stern gaze when I faltered, the Imam's words echoing about sin and deception. I had been conditioned to fear, to obey, to hide, and yet here I was, reading words that offered courage, hope, and understanding. I felt a spark inside me, growing stronger with each verse, a warmth I could not suppress. I contacted an online Christian fellowship, sending a message that trembled with uncertainty. To my surprise, I was welcomed instantly, not judged, not scolded, but embraced. For the first time, I felt seen, heard, and safe. They became my family in secret, my sanctuary in a world that still demanded silence and obedience. Each night I read more, my courage building alongside my love for the one who had called my name in the darkness. I deleted my browsing history each morning, heart pounding, knowing that discovery could mean wrath, shame, or worse. Yet, the more I read, the more I realized that secrecy did not diminish the faith I was nurturing. I was growing, silently but powerfully, in courage and conviction. Then came the moment that made my heart stop. My brother entered my room unexpectedly and caught me mid-deletion, my hands frozen over the screen. His eyes narrowed, suspicion flashing across his face, his presence a reminder of every threat I had endured for questioning, for seeking, for daring to hope. My body froze, my mind raced, and I realized the stakes had grown higher. But alongside the fear, I felt a quiet determination. I could no longer deny the truth I had glimpsed, the love that had touched me, the courage that had begun to burn in my soul. Even in secrecy, even under threat, my faith was real. A secret faith is still faith, I reminded myself. And in that quiet, trembling moment, I knew that the path I had begun to walk could not be undone. My soul had been awakened, and no force could turn me back to darkness. The day of confrontation arrived like a storm I could not escape. My family gathered in the living room, the Imam at the head, my father rigid beside him, my mother trembling between them. My brother stood like a sentinel, arms crossed, eyes sharp with accusation. The tension pressed down on me as I sat on the edge of the sofa, hands clenched in my lap, heart pounding. "Amina," my father began, his voice low and dangerous, "we have tried to guide you. You have strayed, and you must return. Obey, or you will no longer be part of this family." The Imam's tone was colder, more precise. "You have been deceived. This is not the path of truth. You are possessed by lies, and if you continue, your soul will suffer." I felt my throat tighten. The fear I had carried for decades surged up, threatening to paralyze me, to make me nod, to make me surrender. My mother's tears fell silently, her voice trembling as she pleaded, "Amina, please, for the love of Allah, repent. Confess your mistakes. Do not bring shame upon us." Shame, fear, obedience, every instinct screamed at me to comply. But underneath it all, a presence I could not name whispered to my soul. A light I had glimpsed in the darkness, a love that had called my name. I cannot," I whispered, my voice barely audible, trembling. The room stiffened. My brother's eyes narrowed. If you leave Islam, you are no longer my sister. You will have nothing. You are choosing dishonor. Do you understand what this means? The weight of his words fell on me like stones. I wanted to collapse, to retreat, to beg for safety, but the voice within me grew louder than their threats. I am choosing truth, I said, and the words, though soft, carried a strength I did not know I possessed. I am choosing him. My father's face twisted with disbelief and fury. You are no daughter of mine if you persist. You have no place here. The Imam's eyes narrowed and he repeated, recite the Shahada one last time and return, or your soul is lost. I shook my head, tears streaming, my chest heaving. I had prayed in secret. I had glimpsed a light that had never abandoned me. I had been held and called by a presence stronger than fear. And now, I knew that obedience to them could not compare to the obedience of my soul to truth and love. My mother sobbed, clutching her hands to her chest, but I could not give in. My brother moved closer, a silent threat in his stance. I stood, trembling, and looked each of them in the eyes. I am leaving, I said. My voice shook, but it carried finality. They saw it, the defiance, the choice, the shift. My father's face went pale. My mother gasped. My brother's jaw clenched. The Imam shook his head in disbelief. And then it happened. I was pushed, verbally and physically, out of the house. The door slammed behind me, and I was alone on the street, with nothing but the clothes on my back, my phone in my hand, and a heart both shattered and strangely free. The world I had known, the life I had been born into, had rejected me, and yet, in the midst of abandonment and fear, I felt a small spark of hope. I had chosen him. I had chosen truth. My journey had only just begun. The first night on the streets was colder than I imagined. My clothes offered little warmth, and my phone was my only connection to a world that had suddenly rejected me. Every shadow seemed threatening, every sound a warning. I wandered aimlessly, heart pounding, until I stumbled upon a small cafe still open. Inside, a woman looked at me with eyes that did not judge, did not question, but simply saw. "Are you okay?" she asked softly. I shook my head, unable to speak, and tears blurred my vision. She gestured for me to sit, handed me a cup of tea, and listened as I told her the barest outline of my story. No judgment, no lectures, just presence. That night, she offered me a place to stay, a small room in her home where I could rest, where I could begin to breathe again. I lay on the mattress, listening to the distant hum of the city, my heart still trembling, my mind replaying the confrontation, the rejection, the threats, the fear. I thought of my parents, of my brother, of the Imam, and the weight of abandonment pressed down on me. Yet beneath it, a whisper stirred in my soul, a presence I had glimpsed in the darkness, a light that had not left me. I began trauma counseling with her help, sharing fears I had carried silently for decades. The nightmares came vivid and relentless, shadows of my past, the voices of family, the fear of being found, the sense of dishonor. But each morning, I awoke, and the presence of him, the one who had called my name in the darkness, remained with me. I found solace in prayer, in reading the Bible she lent me, in the quiet fellowship of the few believers who welcomed me as family. I began to understand that freedom is not absence of pain, but presence of God. Every step forward was small, often trembling, but each was mine. I began to see the beauty in Christian fellowship, the encouragement, the unconditional love, the patience, the guidance. Slowly, my heart healed. I learned to sleep without fear, to walk without trembling, to speak without shame. And yet, even in the quiet moments, the ache of separation from my family remained. I longed for reconciliation, for connection, for the love I had lost. One evening, as I sat reading by the soft glow of a lamp, my phone vibrated. I hesitated, heart racing, afraid of who it might be. The screen displayed a call from my mother. I froze, hands trembling. She had not reached out in anger, not in judgment, but quietly, secretly. She wanted to see me, to speak, to bridge the distance without shaming me. Tears welled up, and I felt a mixture of fear, hope, and cautious joy. In that moment, I realized that though the road was lonely, I was not truly alone. God walked it with me. He had guided me to safety, to healing, to fellowship, to a place where I could begin to rebuild. And even as I prepared to see my mother, I knew that His love, His presence, and His guidance would carry me forward, step by step, toward the freedom I had glimpsed in the darkness and in the light.